Ivy, it's great to have you with me today. We were just discussing how it's been a while, and so I'm excited to learn if anything's changed since we last talked and dive into, who you are today and everything. So let's start with who is Ivy today? What is she doing?
That's a great setup. Okay. So Ivy today, and there has been a lot that has happened since our last conversation. So, okay, we are almost in May. So almost done with the first month of the second quarter in 2025.
Hmm.
So the beginning of this year, I will say that I embraced something that I've been doing for a long time. You know how you have something that you do naturally and it comes easy to you and you do it, but that's not what you want to do. You want to work over here and it's harder and you're like trying to make something work. Then you do this and it's so easy. So anyway, so the beginning of this year, I embraced um I have a residential cleaning business. I've had it for years, but it's almost like I'm a secret business owner in the sense that I had a few clients. I was good. I keep it that way. Don't refer me. I'm good. But then this year things changed. And I was like, all right. And I looked up and I was like, all right, it's time to put the big girl panties on and make it official and do something with it. And ever since then, like I feel good about it. It's still work. It's a lot of work, and I'm challenged. I'm just like now I'm at a point where I'm starting to grow, and people are like reaching out to me because I'm putting myself out there, and I need help.
Yeah.
And I only have two hands. There's only a handful of days, and that is where I'm like, okay, this is scary. The next step in bringing someone on, allowing them to do some of your work. Will they do it like you? Well, that's where I have to train and all these things. And I'm like, okay, it's the next phase in this girl's life. All right. So that's a new big thing for me.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you shared that. I didn't even know about the whole cleaning business that I can remember when we talked. So,
No, and again, I don't talk about it. It's something that, when my daughter was little, it was something like, what can I do that I could stay at home a lot and just leave for, a few hours, make a little money, come home, it's good. Still kind of working. Well, not working, I'm working. Yeah, I've been doing it for like, oh, 10, 11 years. And and then I was like, it's time. And yeah, it's time. So here I am.
that's awesome. So, what are the reasons why most people might want their house cleaned by somebody else?
You know, I say to myself jokingly, I go, I know that I will have made it when I hire my own cleaning person. It's something that everyone can do. Everyone can clean their house. I think most people know how to clean their house, but it's time and how do you want it clean? Some people do surfacey cleaning. It's just kind of so things are put away and it doesn't look messy. But it's like the nitty gritty things, the dust and the corners and the dust bunnies and all these things and getting down. And that's where I come in. And for me, I just have an eye for clutter. It doesn't bother me. I could walk into a room and it could be like a bomb went off and someone will look at it and go, I don't even know where to start and close the door, walk away. I get it. I get it. Me, I walk in, I'm like, all right, I got it. No worries. It's just easy for me. And for years, people are like, Ivy, you should have your own business. I don't want it. Ivy, you should have a cleaning business. I don't want to clean. Ivy, you should do organizing. I don't want to do that. Here I am.
Yeah. And so, do you travel? I'm gonna write this down so you can come clean my. No.
No, but I believe we have a mutual friend, uh, Josh. Do you know Josh Aronovich?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, he one day, and he lives 90 minutes from me. He says, "Oh, you should hire some girls by me and I could promote you." And I said, "No, I wasn't thinking big."
Mhm.
I'm like, "You're 90 minutes from me. I can't have girls drive all the way over here by me and clean. It doesn't make any sense." He goes, "No, you hire them here. I will promote you so that you can cross the state line," kind of thing. And I went, "Hmm, the seed, the seed is
Nice.
planted. I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that
You'll
yet,
get
but
there.
it
You'll
was
get there.
planted." Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
is so cool.
It
That's
is.
awesome.
It's exciting and it's scary at the same time. And I still
It,
have a lot of things that I'm doing in this online space. So I'm juggling a lot of plates.
awesome. Well, we could dive into that too. Before we get there, so you were raising your daughter alone? Is
No,
that right? No?
mm-mm,
Okay, so but you
no.
started this business so you could stay home with your daughter.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. Just, just flexibility. And I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go, do the 9 to 5 and just be away from her or put her in daycare or have somebody watch her. I did not want that at all.
Mhm. Yeah, as a lot of people have to fight that battle now, right? What is it worth paying somebody to watch them or just staying home and actually taking care of them yourself because you feel it usually is better anyways, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's tough. It's a really, really big decision. And like I wasn't working at a job where I had the maternity leave and then going back. Because I kind of been, I guess, an entrepreneur for quite some time. So it was very hard for me to even think about going into a 9 to 5. But for me, the thought of having someone watch my child, and you know what it is? It comes from my childhood. My mom was always working. She was never around. So I didn't see her. So it's one of those things where I didn't want that. I wanted my daughter to always see me and for me to be around. Now, there's there's like this balance because there's the part of me that was like, I don't want the 9 to 5. I just want like, something flexible. Well, at the beginning, not knowing like the entrepreneur kind of space or whatever, it's, you get side jobs here and there. So there's not a lot of money coming in. And I was okay with that in the sense of I'd rather be home and be with her and her see me and be with me and than not. So because my mom was just always away and I was like, not that I thought as a child, like if I ever have children, because I don't think I would have a child. I had two younger sisters, and we were like, "You would be such a great mom. Do you want to be a mom?" I'm like, "No, I do not." And until it happens, and but yeah, it's just I just remember my mom always working and always being around. Now, granted, she retired with a pension. That's not going to be me. So I have to do things differently. I have to think differently. And so I've been in this entrepreneurial headspace for quite some time. And it's now, I think I've been in the online space, I would say since 2015, but as an entrepreneur since 2000. But at the time, I didn't really know that I was an entrepreneur kind of thing. So it's taken like a long time. But that's one of the things for me is just being here, being in community, just being surrounded by people who are always like growing and trying things and doing things. And me, I'm just kind of like still learning in my shell, kind of like I don't know what to do. I'll try this, I'll try that. And a lot of it had to do with my story, which is like I had alcohol that was kind of like the big thorn in my side for a long time. And it'll be 7 years this June. But it's interesting. I think it was last year when I had an aha moment in that, and this is for anyone that has struggled and they're so, sober from whatever that is, you just don't give it up. And then all of a sudden everything is great, like all of a sudden the sky opens up and all the things and now your path, it doesn't work that way. So you got to find you, and then you have to figure out what it is that you do. Mind you, like I'm not a spring chicken, mind you. So there's all these experiences I've had in my life that I've done and I've done well, but that was a different time. And so now it's like now I don't have it. So now who am I? Now what do I do? Now what's my journey? And it was not so much scary. I think it was this go around because I've stopped technically one time before. I've said I didn't want to do it and be done a gajillion times. But when I finally stopped, it was kind of the all right. And I remember, as I'm in personal growth and I'm always listening to podcasts and all the things. And I listened to James Clear. Now I read his book the year prior. So now this is going back like 7 years ago. But it didn't strike me until a year later when I was listening to him. This is now I'm sober. And he talked about the 2-minute rule. I read it, didn't strike me. Now I hear it differently. That's why, like some people are like, well, why are you reading that book again? And why are you going to that seminar again? Like, why? Because you're at a different place in your life when you hear something and you're, in the space. So I thought to myself, for whatever reason, that landed hard. And after the interview, I just kept on thinking about it. 2 minutes? And I'm looking up and I'm like, can 2 minutes really be a game changer? Like, can it really be a game changer? And I'm like asking myself this question. I'm like, huh. And I go, well, I value exercise. I'm not always consistent with it. I value it. So you know what I'm going to do? Every day, I'm going to do 2 minutes of stretching in the morning. Because one thing I found with sobriety is that, or during the addiction, we don't trust ourselves. We may be confident in a lot of things, but when you let go of the thing that isn't serving you, that you've used and now you don't have it, now it's like, oh, okay. And so here it is. I just did 2 minutes every day, confident in a lot of things. But in this middle space, I talked about this just the other day. So we just had Good Friday, then there's Holy Saturday, then there's Easter Sunday. So Good Friday is when Jesus was crucified. And then there's this middle period, the waiting, like what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Now I'm just like coming back to this and learning about this. And then you have the resurrection. So I just did because every morning I have my coffee talk lives and I talked about this, the in between. And that is like our journey. We let something go. That's the killing off, the crucifying of what doesn't serve you. No pun. But now it's like, now what? Now it's the journey. Now is the process. It's the in between. And we just have to take little steps forward to figure out, who am I? What am I supposed to do? Okay, I'll try this. Oh, that doesn't work. Oh, I'll try. I'm good at this. I'll stay here for a while. Then you meet new people, and then someone gives you an idea, and then you start doing it's all these things until you get to a point where you don't necessarily arrive, but you get to the point where you're like, I feel good about myself. Like I feel good in my skin for the first time. That took years. It took almost 6 years. It's the weirdest thing. It's the craziest thing. And it was last year when I had that aha. I'm like, oh my God, here it is. I'm like, what is it going to be? What am I supposed to do? I'm trying this. I'm doing this. I'm in this group. I'm in that group. I'm in anthologies. And I'm like, oh my, what is going to be the thing? And then I was like, wait a second. That is, and I've known it consciously, but when it hits you, when it goes from here to here, like when it hits you, you're like, when they say it's all in God's timing, like he knows, he's smiling, just like you're doing right now. He's like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I know,
Uh,
Mike. I know
yeah.
you just got to go through it. You got
Uh,
whatever, you'll figure it out. I'm here whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready, I'm here. You come in, you go out. Doesn't matter. I'm always here, kind of thing. And that's another thing, my relationship with him. That started like 3 years ago. I went to Catholic school when I was younger, kindergarten to high school, and then I went off and did my own thing. And it wasn't until in this space, just being around people, and I think it was about roughly 3 years ago where I started hearing people talk about faith more out of the blue. Maybe I was just ready to hear it. I don't know, but I didn't hear it any other time beforehand. And all of a sudden, people are just talking about God and faith and all the things. And I'm like, okay, here it is again. And I'm like, whoa, and whoa, like what's going on? And 3 years ago, like there was such a shift happening and I was being stirred. And I'm like, what is going on? Where I'm on, um, group calls and I have to take myself off camera because someone would say something about faith, about God, about whatever. And I'm like sobbing. What is going on? This is freaking me out.
It's
What's going on?
great.
But yeah, and that's it started. And there's so many things in between, but the faith
Sure.
is huge.
Yeah, and I'll second the being sober. So for me, it's been about 2.5 years, and I just questioned myself the other day, and I posted. I didn't realize it was like a month before I started the podcast, right? And so it wasn't the reason why I stopped. I just chose to stop to show up as myself to whoever I surround myself with, and this is what you get, right? And I don't want to say it was a heavy drinker or anything like that, but I would consider it was a coping mechanism. You know, you have a rough day, you come home and you just relax is how you would put it, right? So now kind of like, it sounds like we're on the same page here. My relaxation now is podcasting, right? I come home and this is what I'm doing at night for the most part, besides some other stuff. But it's allowed this time, this space to open up and listen to you and talk to other people. And that's been a game changer. And the other thing is with the whole faith for me, it's been about 2.5, 3 years since I started going to
Okay.
church. And I didn't see that coming either. Like it's been a weird ride for me. I shared that, I was waking up in the morning saying thank you, just to be alive, right? And then for whatever reason, one morning it was thank you, God. And I'm like, just like you, I'm like, what the heck is this? And so I reached out to a friend and he's like, I'm maybe just curious. He gave me a Bible or he referred a Bible for me to buy, which I had to buy off of eBay because they didn't print it anymore. It's geared towards fathers teaching their children about the Bible. So it's pretty good for me. But then I went to church and, I still don't know everything, but I'm around it more than I ever been. And um, the one last thing I would like to add where I agree with you is that journey, that space in between. You're like, I don't know where you're going. I kind of call it the gray area because it's fuzzy, right?
Yes.
I know Alex Hormozy kind of calls it like the lonely chapter in a way because you're separating yourself from these friends and trying to go to these other people that you're not even part of. So it is that weird feeling, and so do you go back to where you were, but you left it for what reason? Because there's something so much better on the other side. And I could tell that's what you got. You went through that and here you are now. You're starting your cleaning business more than ever.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's and we mutually know I'm going to be dropping names. Jose Escobar, right?
Sure.
So 3 years ago, I take one of his courses. It's the morning and evening routine, and it was awesome. And a lot of like most people have a morning routine. Most people have. It's the evening routine that a lot of people don't. I didn't. It's like, okay, you kind of know what you have to do the next day, but you don't really sit down and reflect on your day and what's coming. Not many people do that. So he calls it the bookends of his day. But one of the things in the evening, part of the reflection part was these questions. Now I've done this before. Brendan Burchard, a lot of people do it. How was your day? What went right? What went wrong? Kind of thing. Here's the difference. There was two questions in particular. One was, did you consider God? And I'm like, so for weeks, I'd write it. No, no, everything. So of course I don't even think about him or anything. And once I get to the evening, I'm like in bed and I'm like, ooh, no. And then 1 week goes by, 2 weeks goes by. And then by the third week, I'm like, huh. Then I wake up in the morning and huh, you know? It's like that seed that was planted. The other question was, did you offer your work to God? Now, at the time, I was doing so many, I'm still doing a lot of things, but I was all over the place. And I'm like, what work am I going to offer? Like, I don't understand what that means. Offer your work. It's not until recently. Oh my God, this is so good. So those two questions stirred something inside of me. And that's when a lot of things started to happen. And all the people and hearing, God and faith. And I'm like, ooh, I get chills because it's just, even my husband, I think it was like a year and a half ago, he's like, what's going on? He goes, all of a sudden you're talking about God and faith. I go, I can't help it. Like I can't help it. I'm being moved. I can't help it. Like it's not like I'm doing it. I'm like, I'm going to talk about God now and see
Yeah.
if I could. No, like it's just coming out of me. And so he's just kind of like, okay. And he's a little skeptical. And he's always like questioning, so what about this? And what about that? What do you think about this? And what I'm like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm still learning. Like I'm picking up the Bible, like, I don't know, you know. But all I know is I'm being pulled and I'm being stirred. And I think it was 2 years ago, I was sitting at my kitchen table. I don't know what I was doing, and all of a sudden I hear 40-day fast. So I'm like, what? I know, geez, what? So I go on Facebook, which I never did before, and ask a question. Has anyone done a 40-day fast? And if so, like, why, whatever. So I get the comment, like, you can't do it. You're so small. My mom too. You're so small. You're going to fly away. You can't do this. This is not healthy. Oh, that's not healthy. 40 days. I got all of that. But there was one woman that reached out to me privately. And she's like, 40 days. Hmm. Unless it was the Holy Spirit. And I was like, well, it wasn't from me. I don't want to do 40 days. So she started telling me about prayer fast. I never heard of it. Heard of prayer, heard of fasting. I didn't even connect. Like there's religions that actually do that. I didn't connect it, but I was like, it didn't come from me. So then she started telling me about, prayer fasting and this program, that person and this person. And then so I started. Then I started this journey and listening to different people. I'm like, this is interesting. Like this is interesting. Fast forward, maybe about a year later, roughly that same year, I had someone say to me in a group of women, she goes, Ivy, you have a particular favor over you. And I'm like, okay. I'm thinking favor means you're really nice, you're kind to people, and good things happen to you because you're just nice to people. When you're mean, you're gonna attract whatever. So I thought that. A few months later, she mentioned it again. A couple of months later, she mentioned it again. I'm like, so during the month of January, there's a guy called Pedro Adeo, and he does a 31-day wisdom challenge. It's free, and it's about the book of wisdom. Never heard of it. Okay, I'm just coming back. Never heard of it. So now I'm doing this challenge. I tried it 2 times before. I think I went like maybe a week, week and a half, and fell off. But this time, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. One day, Lisa Nichols, you know who Lisa Nichols is?
Probably not.
She's amazing. She's
Okay.
such a great storyteller. She was in The Secret. So she talked about her journey and she mentioned favor and she got into favor. And then there was another day, a guy talked about the difference between religion and kingdom. And I'm like, that blew my mind because I'm like, you know what? I've been living my whole life, kingdom minded, not religion minded, not realizing that there was a difference. So I'm just like learning, like I'm going to school. I'm
Yeah.
being
So when you
schooled
when you
right now.
say kingdom, then what do you mean by that?
Religion has a way of telling you what you should do and shouldn't do. It's almost like sometimes, I'll say sometimes, people in a particular religion will mock other religions because it's not like theirs. Or if you believe in a different God, you're wrong because my God is whatever, things like that. It's just, it's very, you're in a box where I don't like being in a box. I think it's more about just loving everybody because we're all here. I don't care if you're black, white, purple, homeless. I don't care. Like I treat you like I would treat a family member. I always speak to you with respect and I I just be understood, but not everybody's like that. And that's how I see the difference between religion and, I mean, it goes deeper than that. That's very surfacey because I really can't give a good answer. Um, but things like that, it's just being like we're all spiritual beings, and we've heard it with spiritual beings having a human experience kind of thing, but not many people live it. We're all the same. We're all striving to do something better for ourselves, for our family. We're all going through something. No one has it perfect. They may look on the outside, and some people do have it very well. Some people have their stuff together. You know, they're very structured, they're organized, and they got their things together. And then, you know, other people don't and they mask it very well, but we're all like there's something like we're all, and I just look at people like I don't know. I don't look at you any differently than anybody else. I used to, I used to if somebody, was doing very, very well. I was like, ooh, I can't me, little me, talk to that person. Oh no. Now it's like they're just a person. They're just a person. And just because, they have like a 6, 7, 8 figure business, whatever, doesn't mean that you can't talk to them. Now it's how you speak, you know, kind of thing, and how you come across and how you present yourself and all these things. But yeah, it's just interesting. Let me tell you, these last couple of years have been like, ooh. And Jose Escobar said it to me perfectly because one morning I called him, freaking sobbing my eyes out. I think that was after Lisa Nichols, one of those two. And I was like, oh my God, I think I got it. Because the whole thing about having the fear of God, I didn't understand that. Like people like, and I was like, it's just doing the thing that you're called to do, that you're supposed to do. And we're on a journey. We're trying to figure that out. And sometimes we're being pulled to do something, and our human self is like, oh, I can't do that. I'm going to do this, you know. But sometimes we're being pulled to do something because one, we can handle it, but we don't think we can handle it. He knows we can handle it. But it's kind of like, so there's this that I have, okay, the cleaning business I have because it's like the gift in my hand, so to speak. It comes naturally to me, but that doesn't mean like, oh, I picked it. Because I've been told many times, Ivy, just pick one thing. Because I'm all over the place. I have my hands in a lot of things. Pick one thing, Ivy. And I go, okay, I'm gonna pick this. And then I start working on it. And I'm like, but I'm also good at this. And I'm also good at
That's
this,
right. It's like the
you
shiny
know?
object kind of thing. Yeah.
And like, I'll try this, I'll try that. So I still have a few things, that I'm doing, but this is the thing that, you know, I guess I'm choosing, which is bad because because I pray about this. I really do. I'm like, is this my path? Or am I the human side of me that, is choosing this because maybe it's easy? I don't know. But what I do know, what I feel like, what I do know is that this is still challenging as much as it comes easy to me. And because now there's different levels. If I want to grow, there's different levels. There's, the networking part and the reaching out part and the talking to different homeowners and pricing, that's a big one. Now it's the hiring. So and teaching and all these things. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, okay. So I think personally, and I say it all the time, is this the be all end all for me? I don't know. Don't know. But what I do know is this is what I have right now. This is what I'm working with right now. It's my gift right now that's going to lead to something much bigger. Could it be this and it grows really big? Possibly. But I don't know. But all I know is what I need to do is to do the best I can, with what I have and do it well. Now, I've always known that consciously with other things that I've done. I've known that. Do just do well, be the master at your craft. Okay. But then it's the shiny object syndrome all over the place. But this one here, I'm like, okay, all right. Not only that, like I said, I'm not a spring chicken. I can't be like doing a billion things. I got to stick to one thing, like I really do, and make it work. So I'm going to make this work.
Good. That sounds good. Yeah. And you're going to teach other people as well. So you're right there. It's a learning curve. That's all it is. You're stepping out
It
of your
is.
comfort zone and you're sharing that right here. So anybody that's listening or watching this, like this is what happens. Like you have to rise up and just take a leap of faith and go for it. So what other things do you do? You said online stuff. What is that?
Well, I always share my story about the sobriety. I'm in, well, I'm on podcasts like this, sharing my story because I think initially I didn't know where it was going to go. Again, you keep on just moving forward, taking one step, doing little things. And so I just kept on sharing my story. Where is it going to go? I have no idea. But one thing is, I'm getting better talking about it. At first I'm kind of nervous. I have to have my bullet points to keep me on. And now I'm like, okay, this is me. This is my story. And you hear share your story only the way you can, because unless somebody else will, and they're gonna botch it up, kind of thing. So I'm in seven anthologies. I really should count. I'm in seven anthologies, maybe six. I'm either in six and the seventh is coming out, or I'm in seven and the eighth is coming out. I have one more that I'm going to do this year, and then that's it. And
Okay.
then I'm going to work on my own book. I already have the
That's
title. I've already started it, and it's Give Your Life a Try, TRI, for triathlons, because from letting go, and I trademarked it and everything, from letting go the alcohol, then doing the consistency of the 2 minutes every day for months, went from 2 to 5 to 10. I got back into working out and all the things. And I had always wanted to do an Ironman. And so I think it was that year, no, 2 years prior to letting it go, I was looking online at races. And then I would always say, like, oh, that would be so cool. But that's like 2 hours away. I'm not going to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning and look at this race. Oh, wow, that'd be really cool. But that's like, I'm not going to do that. Mind you, I didn't know how to swim. I didn't own a bike. So I couldn't do it anyway. I wasn't training. I couldn't do it anyway, but I used that as an excuse. Oh, that'd be so cool, but that's too far. I'm not going to wake up early and do that as if. So I let alcohol go. That was in June. In December, I'm just kind of looking through my emails and an email pops up. There's a triathlon, a sprint. So there's different levels. Sprint is kind of like your beginner level. So, but it's still, I always called it a baby sprint. And I had one of my coaches a long time ago. He goes, don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Call it a baby sprint. And I was like, okay, sorry. So, or a baby triathlon. So I looked at my email and I see this triathlon in my backyard, like 15 minutes away from me. And I was like, really? Really? I'm like, okay,
there it
fine.
is. Yep.
So I registered. That was in December 31st. I registered and I'm like, don't own a bike, don't know how to swim. I mean, I could get in, I could hold my own, but like like to swim and learn to, no,
Hmm.
I'm getting better. But I had a guy at the pool look at me one day when I got out. He's like, that looks painful. I was like,
Uh,
I'm learning, I'll get better. It was funny. And so I train and things start to happen. And I tell people all the time, when you make the decision for something that's been on your heart and you really say, like, I don't know how I'm gonna I have no idea how I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do it. I'm making the decision. And things start to happen for you. People will cross your path. They've always been there, but things will be said in a different way. And then all of a sudden I'm at the pool because now I got to start swimming. And the lifeguard there tells me about a woman who's selling a bike. And I'm like, oh my God, it was like a really good road bike. It was expensive, but still for what it was like a good price. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So, okay, so the pool and the bike and all these things were just happening for me. The day of the race comes along. I'm talking to one of the guys next to me, and I'm such a goofball. I go, so is this the first time they had this here on the island? Because it's Long Beach Island where I'm located. And he looks at me, he goes, no, this is like the eighth or ninth year. I went, I've been living here for like 10 years already. And I'm like, I've never seen it. Now, mind you, for 2 years, I was looking, never saw it because I wasn't ready to see it. I wasn't ready to see it. And then he showed it to me. I'm like, really? Really? And then that's when, and I got bit by the bug. And this year will be my fourth.
Awesome. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
So
I
you
know
just
I'm
can,
like talking like a mile a minute.
ah, you're good. It's something you're passionate about, and it definitely changed your life, right?
It did.
And I love how you share, like you don't see this stuff until it's the right time, even though that you're trying to do it for 2 years looking for it, right? And it's just funny how it all works out that way. It really is. And it doesn't have to be the triathlon. It could be anything,
Right.
right?
Anything.
Yeah. Yeah. This is cool. Um, Ivy, I feel free to share, how people can connect with you, find out more about your book that you have coming out and all that stuff that you're working on. Maybe people that want some cleaning done.
Okay. I'll go through the list. So,
That's all right.
uh, I do have an anthology that's in pre-sale right now. It's an anthology. It's called Taking Off the Shades. It's all women that are sharing all sorts of things that they've overcome with regard to relationships. And it could be a relationship with self, with a sibling, with a parent, with a spouse or boyfriend or whatever. I'm sharing the relationship that I had with alcohol. So that's pre-sale. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, I mean, Facebook Messenger is like the best place because I live there. So I could say email, but I'm so bad with checking my email. So Facebook Messenger. My page, does Ivy Perez, although I will say there are a gajillion Ivy Perez's. Oh my gosh. So it's Ivy Perez. I believe it's _ Dream Builder, but you'll see me. And so I have and it's there, the Taking Off the Shades anthology. It's in pre-sale. That's $25. I'm working on my book, Give Your Life a Try. That's not in pre-sale. That should be something that I give myself, that, the fire under the tail, like put a date and say, okay, whatever. All right, I'll work on that. So
Right
there's
here, do
that.
it now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, actually, I will do it now because I would like to, I'll say my birthday's in November.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll have it done, but at least I will have a big bulk done so that I can say pre-sale. So that's November 17th, putting it out there. Okay. So there's Taking Off the Shades. There's Give Your Life a Try. There's my cleaning business. Yes. It's in Manahawkin, Barnegat, Long Beach Island. I'm growing, organizing, cleaning and organizing kind of thing. So I have my page, Ivy's Cleaning and Organizing. Uh, and I'm working to grow that. Oh my gosh. So yeah, so what else? What else do I have to offer? Oh, every morning, not a set time, but I have my coffee talk time lives, and it's all about personal development. Personal development, personal growth. In April, we have one more week. It's Alcohol Awareness Month.
Hmm.
So I've been talking about alcohol, where all the things that have to do with like alcohol. Although I had one person say, well, can you change it up a little bit and talk about like maybe, this or that? And I said, you know what? Thank you for that. Because it doesn't have to be every single day about alcohol. So I have changed it up. And Sundays for an hour, I go a little deeper on a topic. So not this past Sunday, it was Easter, but previous Sunday, I did cirrhosis of the liver and I talked about that. And that's a heavy subject. But I was like, I don't want this to be heavy. It doesn't have to be heavy. Let's talk about how we can, if you're in that place, prevent it. Because you can. Now, once it gets there, then it's no reversing it. once you hit that stage. So I talked about that. And then this coming Sunday, I'm going to talk about sugar and how, it could lead to, addiction and just all the things and where it started and how our lovely government puts it in all of our food,
That's all right.
in everything,
Yeah.
I tell people, look at the label. But so yes, coffee talk and all the things. Just look for me on Facebook, Messenger. I live there. I'm on Instagram, but not really. I just
Yeah.
kind of share it. YouTube, I'm getting there. LinkedIn, I have a page. It's really Facebook right now.
Yeah. Facebook. Yeah. So whoever's listening, just check out her on Facebook and there you'll find everything, it sounds like. So
Yes, yes.
looking forward to hearing more about your book when you launch it around your birthday towards that area. Um, yeah. So I have one question I ask everybody at the end of the podcast. What are three key things you've learned and used along your journey?
Okay. One, staying plugged in. I think staying plugged in into communities has definitely helped me to stay in the game because it's very easy to just get caught up with life and work and family and all the things. So I'm in two main communities, and if it wasn't for them, I would have let go of doing anything. Uh, I probably would still be kind of floundering a little bit, to be honest. So staying plugged in to a community doesn't have to be online, could be in your community, but stay plugged in. It's really important, especially, if you would struggle with anything, it's important to be around people who have a positive outlook and they can help you see like everything's going to be okay. We all have a journey. Everything's going to be just fine, but you won't know that. And if you get in your little, like, sulking and in your little four walls, you can go down a dark place and we don't want that. So staying plugged in, sharing my story. So for me, that was important because I'm getting better at it and realizing that you just never know who's listening and who can affect. I've had people randomly reach out to me and say, you've helped me, realize X, or this particular talk you talked about was really helpful or whatever. And I'm like one, I'm always like grateful that because you never know. You're like talking to the void. You're like, I don't know if anybody's listening. You see that there's views, but you don't know. But when you get someone that reaches out and says, I really like your talks, I keep on doing it. I'm like, thanks. Because sometimes I want to say, like, what am I doing this for?
Right, right.
So I
Yeah,
continue. So, sharing my story, just putting myself out there is really, really important. For me, it helps me grow and also helps other people as well. And the other thing too is my relationship with God. Huge, huge. It's been a journey in and of itself. This year I started, never heard it before. I'm sure it's been around for a long time. Bible in a year and Rosary in a year. And I listened to both those podcasts in the morning. And it's so good because I mean I have the Bible, I just don't sit down. I don't even know how to read the Bible. Like, do you go from front to the back and jump
yeah,
around and what book is what and who is who and the name changes? I'm like, what? So you have, this Father Mike is the one that kind of just talks about the different stories and it's so helpful. And then of course they talk about the story and then they kind of give real life, stories to kind of help you think a little differently. Just bring it into like today's day and age kind of thing. So that's been really helpful. So those are the three things. Staying plugged in, sharing my story, and for me personally, is building, like coming back and building a relationship and learning how to build a relationship because I've learned that just like, a special someone in your life, in order to have a relationship, you talk to them. You ask the questions, and it's like this give and take. You do the same thing with God, only that you speak, you kind of tell him everything, challenges, whatever that's on your mind, and then listen, and then just listen and see what comes. And that's been huge for me. I mean, I've meditated before, journal, all those things, but the relationship part with God has been really, really a game changer. And I'll leave for anybody, this was really big for me. I had someone ask me if if I'm making God my CEO of my business. I'm like, oh, no. Well, you should think about it. It's like when I was a kid, you should do this and you should go to school and you should do this. And I'm like, okay, but
Hmm.
can you show me how? Kind of thing. So 2 times about the CEO of your business came up. I'm like, interesting. And then I found the girl on YouTube that she actually showed you the how. And I was like, and I'll give you her name. Her name is Stephanie Gass, Gass. She's awesome. And I just started following her, I think like, I don't know, 2 months ago.
That's cool.
Yeah. And that's been huge. And it takes time. I'm sure for her, it's been a long time. She could sit down and, have a meeting, have your meeting with your CEO, and she could probably do it in 15 minutes. It takes me probably about an hour. Sometimes I do it and I have to step away because it gets a little heavy. And if you want like offline, I could just give you more. So you don't have to like take the time and just give you kind of like the steps on what it is to have a meeting with God as him as your CEO.
Game changer for you, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
huge, huge. And I'm just like so incredibly grateful. And it's really changed the way I see myself. It changed the way I look at my business. Because, all these like hiring, I am like, I don't know, the did you offer your work to God? There are times when I'm like, God, this is yours. This is yours. I don't know. Yes, I have to make the phone calls. Yes, I have to do the work, you know? But then I'm like, it's yours. Sometimes when I have to send a quote out,
Hmm.
I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. I pray and I'm like, okay, God, send.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just don't do it. It's being really intentional, like really intentional. And it forces me to be really intentional. And it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. Anyway, I can go on and on. I know we're at the top of the
Uh,
hours.
you're good. I appreciate everything you shared, um, all the way up till now. I thank you so much. So I hope we can do this again. I know you got your book coming up, so let's see if we could schedule something around that time when it's ready to launch.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you, Ivy. It's
Thank you.
great.
This is fantastic. I needed this. I
Good.
did. You never
Good.
know. And
No,
it
you don't.
was really good for me. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.